Urban Design Programme. Professor Nidhi Dandona, she is the Program Director for the Urban Design Programme, an architect with a Masters in Urban Design from SPA New Delhi. She has been into practice since the year 2000 and has been involved in academia, having taught at prestigious institutions like Krivya Mumbai, SPA Delhi, and now at Sushant. She is also the Principal Secretary of the Institute of Urban Designers India, IUDI Delhi NCR chapter. Professor R.V. Thiruvengadam. I'm not sure if Thiru will be able to join us as he's recently got detected with COVID, but he's the other faculty with us in the program. He's a TVB graduate with a Master's in Urban Design from SPA New Delhi again. With the 15 plus years of experience and working in the industry, he is the proprietor of a lighting design consultancy called URI. He brings along knowledge of this very carefully crafted niche, nighttime urbanism, into our program. And I am Dr. Suruchi Modi, an alumnus of Sushant with a Master's in Urban Design from CEPT and one in Tall Buildings from University of Nottingham, UK, followed by a doctorate in architecture from SPA New Delhi. And after leading my practice in Bangalore for some years, I delved into research and joined academia, serving my alma mater. So that's about us. Some of you, I think, have interacted with us in the past and have sat through the interview rounds too. But we assume that most of you are seekers for this specialization now or at a later stage in your career. So what we're going to bring to you today is to know this profession and the future of this profession better. So I would like to restate that we offer 4 Masters of Architecture programs at Sushant: Built Heritage, Interior Architecture, Landscape Architecture, and Urban Design. You will get to know each of these better through a series of program-led webinars, which are going to follow very soon. Moving on to urban design today, so we begin with the first question. What is urban design? So focusing design and planning on the human scale as expressed by Jangel, or as William White calls it, it's social life in public places or urban spaces, or as Kevin Lynch, we all know, has defined, the spatial tools for understanding cities and discrete elements of urban form. So all of them practically, Robert Moses, Ebenezer Howard, Patrick Geddes, Christopher Alexander, Leon Cryer, Peter Hall, are all the names we have heard in the past, people who have theorized urban design in the 60s to the 80s. So what we know of urban design is that it's a process of shaping the physical setting for life in cities, towns, and villages, the art of making places. It involves the design of buildings, groups of buildings, spaces, and landscapes, and establishes the processes that make this development possible. So this, of course, is the definition of urban design we all must have heard in parts or all together, and is spot on, so we can't challenge this. But we know things are changing. So what can be a better example than this last 1 year to tell us about it? Let's take a little closer look into the future now. So it's expected that nearly 70% of the world's population will be living in urban centers by 2050. 2050 will also mark the first time in history when more people will be over 60 than under 15. There will be no independent living, hence no plotted developments, but living in smaller optimum units with shared facilities for washing and eating. Maybe no offices and no institutions with work from home and study from home options. There might be no private vehicles too, with online shopping, availability of goods from across the world, virtual tours of places and cities. And will there be no public places as well? With social media, networking sites, webinars, and streaming services like Netflix and Hotstar. So maybe we come back to this question again, that with all of this that is going to happen very soon, what is urban design? So maybe what we don't know is how urban design has transformed in the last few years, or how it's going to transform. Like how many of us even identify the figures on the slide? So we have REM Kulas here, VOHA, MVRDV, Stephen Apking from SOM, then the ACOM Group, and many more such global organizations were constantly questioning and experimenting to guide transformation of cities. We are already hearing terms like biomorphic urbanism, landscape urbanism, infrastructural urbanism, everyday urbanism or tactile urbanism, pop-up urbanism, and even feminist urbanism. So we at Sushant have defined urban design as an attitude to sense all these forces of change, to comprehend them and put it into practice. So having said that, we move on to the second part as to why you should be taking up the profession. So it is one of the most multifaceted specializations after architecture that includes planning of the cities, addressing its built form, the landscape, the heritage, and the culture of the place. It's a relatively new profession in our country, but there are many initiatives now where the post of the urban designer is mandatory, like the smart city missions, revitalization projects in inner city areas, redevelopment and infill projects for parts which were laid out on older theories of sprawl and lower densities, newer parts which are being built as extensions to cities, and much bigger changes taking place with our country wanting to create global markers like the Central Vista and many more such projects which will come up in future. Also, looking at the current situation of any profession, what we can see that organizations are planning to cut down on full-time employees as they don't want to be committed to paying them monthly. But look at the brighter side. What's going to be soon in demand are these consulting services. Yes, the organizations would look at hiring specialists for specific projects and jobs. And the future is going to be the survival of the most adaptable and multi-talented professional. And that is where a master's degree in urban design is going to be helpful for you. So you're going to do architecture and something beyond that, which urban design is going to help you with. So what is being questioned every now and then in various forums you must have heard as to what is the Indian urban movement all about. But you need to ask yourself that if you have an interest in it, in urban development, would you want to be a part of this? Also, there is another why here, the why of doing it from Sushant. So ours, like you know, is a 30-year-old institution of architecture, which has been awarded time and again as the best private college in India and best in terms of innovation and pedagogy by Outlook and ASSOCHAM India. It is a COA recognized degree. Please mark our words over here. With more and more institutions now offering masters. So these courses are definitely being offered, but it's important for you to check the ones that hold more validity. So our program is being run since the year 2014 and is under the purview of COA ever since. So it's a well-established one and it's a degree which will never be challenged. Also, we are the first ones in the country which are institutional members of IUDI, the Institute of Urban Designers India. So the body where you are going to practice with as soon as you graduate out. The other advantage of this institute is its location. So being located in a fast-growing city like Gurgaon and being closely associated with the capital, it provides a good opportunity to explore the city and engage in all meaningful discussions through the forums and seminars that keep happening in the center. And while you're still a student with us. So it's a great opportunity to be associated with a city like Gurgaon, which is next to the capital. Also, our pool of faculty, that gains the second advantage of its location. So both full-time and visiting are one of the best the country has, again by virtue of the location and the scale of practices the city offers. So somewhere with all of this, we thought we should also touch upon the where aspect of this profession, where it can take you from here. So it can offer you positions in government and semi-government organizations like the DMRC, then in multinationals, in infrastructural organizations like GMR, Larsen, Tata, L&T, in large private organizations of our country and real estate establishments. You may want to get into further research or join research-based organizations like IIHS Bangalore or Urban Design Research Institute Mumbai. You may even look at MPhil or PhD opportunities further on. And some of you may want to enter into teaching and other educational assignments in varying capacities. So having said that, we now move on to the most awaited and interesting part of the webinar as to how do we do all of this at Sushant School. So as you know, it's a 2-year full-time program where each semester has a focus. The first semester is about knowing your program and is more like an introduction. The second one moves towards sustainability, and then we take a closer look at context with heritage taking center stage in semester 3. And finally, the fourth semester where all the learning assimilates. So you have your thesis and research seminars where you tell us how the future of the profession is going to be. So what you will see is that we work with very few subjects which run in the form of tracks in the semesters and get built upon with each passing semester. So the first track is the design track, which is the design studio, having about 14 hours per week and amounts to 50% of the contact hours and credits. This runs into thesis in the final semester. The second track is the theory and method track, which has a focus on reading, writing, and critical thinking, and culminates in the form of a research paper and future cities seminar. We also have build-up tracks, which are the theory subjects to help build the conjectural and technical knowledge in the field. A skills track, which is again very unique to Sushant, is also introduced, which is to equip you with the necessary tools for this master's. So we teach digital softwares, we offer research assistantship under this, associating you to a faculty in the institute to take up tangible research work. It also gives you an option of research and teaching assistantship, where you get to shadow a faculty in the BR classes and engage in the instruction process. So all of this happens here, followed by an elective, which is offered across all the master's programs, and you are allowed to choose from amongst this pool. So this is what the semesters look like, and you move in between. So between the first year and the second year into a summer semester, which is an 8-week long internship in the industry, which helps you complete the sphere of knowledge. So like we mentioned, we equip you for the 3 possible connotations of work after the completion of the urban design degree, which are working on projects, research, and teaching, and are 3 tracks, which is the studio, the theory and method, and the skills. Hold on to this. And this is the very much USP of the urban design program at Sushant. And we can also proudly say that we are the first ones in the country to be offering it in this manner. So when it comes to projects, our studios become the leading points. We call it beyond the classroom, where we follow the model of engaging at various levels, whether it's the community, the authorities, academicians, industry, and various forums nationally, internationally. And you may ask why, because these participatory approaches are the real tools of the urban designer, and we teach them as a part of the program. So at this point, I will pass on the presentation to the program director, Nidhi Dandona, to showcase the strength and the most interesting points of engagement over the 2 years that you will be with us. Over to you, Nidhi.
Thank you, Sushant. Thank you for the where you covered what, why, how, and where also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will actually cover all the works that we have done till now. We've been running the course for the last 7 years, and I'll just take you through the studio assignment and the other important uh, research projects, the LAP studios that we have done with our students, and just to show you insight of what we do. You know, we're not just saying this, but we've actually done some groundwork. That's why we are here. So starting with this project of East of Kailash, which we did in first semester, which had documentation. The picture on uh, top is the model that we had done, and the various interventions done by the student. Next slide. Again, first semester's documentation work, Hoskas, we had taken up and came up with very innovative solutions for Aurobindo Mark and Hoskas, again done in the first year. Urban Extension is the second semester studio that Suruchi explained, where we take up sustainability as one of the core themes, and we usually work on greenfields, urban extensions, or lost spaces or voids in the city. So this is an extension of Jaipur, where we had explored various solutions, both typology wise and sustainability wise, and came up with very interesting solutions. Next slide. Lucknow again. This was done next to the Gomti River. Again, a lost space, I would say, because next to Gomti there is a big chunk which was lying vacant. We explored and we did elaborate documentation and came up with solutions which were worth documenting. Next, please. We went to Goa again to explore and see the city. Again, we'd just been in the north and we wanted to explore what the other states are doing. So we went to Goa, explored what's happening on the seafront, what is their take on ecology, and what are they doing to their extensions, and coming up with newer solution, newer typology. So this is MAPSA in Goa, which we had documented, and again came up with solutions for the program. Thank you. Next. LAP studio is a third semester studio where we do a local area planning, and we do this with IUDI and Urja. IUDI is the Urban Design Institute, and Urja is the um, uh, Urja is the RWA initiative of Delhi. So we work very closely with them, and we take up an area guided by them, and we come up with solutions. So so that it's a collaborative initiative where we make the drawings go to the people, take their views, and then come back, do the solutions, and again go back to them. So going back to them is, I think, the major thing which happens in real projects abroad mostly. So this is something very innovative that we have been doing, and it's been taken up very seriously by the authorities also. We worked very closely with the authorities and came up with these solutions and got very good feedback also, and done seminars at various forums. Thank you. Next slide, please. This is another one done at Shivaji Marg. Last slide was Gurgaon. This is public participation at Lajpat Nagar, again done by different batches of UP. Coming up to fourth semester, where the thesis is your own baby, and the students who have learned in the last three semester, their knowledge is actually accumulated here, and then they come up with their own projects. We help them guide it through in the third semester. So it starts with the research paper, and then we come up with
Nidhi, are you there?
hello.
Yeah, we lost your voice, or maybe it's just me.
I don't know. I'm speaking. Hello. Can
Okay,
anybody
yeah,
hear
yeah,
me?
yeah. Now, I mean, maybe I lost it. Sorry.
No, no, Suruchi, we did as well. So
Okay.
some
Okay.
issue.
Maybe some connection glitch. Yeah. I'll just cover this again.
Nidhi, we can't hear you still.
Two historic city project. One is Vattakara in Kerala, and the other is Amer village in next to Amer Fort, the foothills of Amer. Next, please. More historic city project, Bundi, Rajasthan, and Udaipur in Rajasthan again. Very detailed documentation done individually by the students, and very elaborate interventions done to prove what the city actually needs. So these projects are not
Nidhi, we can't hear you. Suruchi, you want to speak in the meanwhile?
Yeah, sure. So Nidhi was talking about how the historic city projects have been taken up by students, and she mentioned both of them, I think. So yes, when it comes to historic cities, it does demand a lot of detailed documentation and very precise solutions because it's a full-fledged city core which has been working and been in existence for many years. So very carefully crafted solutions is what it requires. Moving on to other things that are taken up in thesis. So there is city extension projects. We did one in Sona and one in Gurgaon along the Golf Coast Road, where they work with the newer and the open pieces of land and how the development has to fit in over these areas. And as a part of these greenfield projects, sometimes they tend to explore and question the future typology or the role of urban design and urban design guidelines in shaping future typology for cities. This has been done in the case of Chandigarh and Mohali interface, the one on the left, and the other one is in city of Gurgaon again, sector 61. So both of them came up with an extensive study of typology before they established guidelines for the newer one. The same thing again, one took place in the case of Cyber City, where they questioned public realm in the vertical dimension. So saying that the city needs a third dimension where people need to start moving because the ground plane is exhausted. The other one is in Indore, the case of underutilized areas within the city, and this is Mog Lines. Moving next, there is the mill area in Indore where they questioned densification and redensification, and another one covered in Bhopal. So the basic definition of densification is questioned, whether it's a or the other aspect of it. Coming up to juries, we've had a large palette of people having come on board as jury members from K.T. Ravindran, S.K. Das, P.V.K. Rameshwar from Ahmedabad, Kanvinde, Abhimanyu Dalal, Ujan Ghosh, Nishant Lal. These are big names in the field of urban design. I'm not sure whether you've heard of them though, but spanning the country, and they have been jurors with us. Yes, many more. The newer segment of people working in the industry. We have Rajesh Dongre, Anupam Bansal, Sujata Hingorani, Vishal Agarwal, Mriganka Saxena, Vandini Mehta, and all of them. So all this, like Nidhi said, we do with the institutions and the authorities in place, whether it's IUDI or URJA. And you can see how our students have joined hands and come together as a collective of this fraternity to put things into practice. And we've also been awarded at various platforms for the same. These are some of our publications that we put together at the end of every year. We've done a few called Smart Interventions, Inclusive Urbanity, Urban Extensions, some as standalone and some with other programs that we offer at Sushant. Placements, yes, our students are widely placed all over the country in varying capacities, whether it's the post of an urban designer or assistant town planners, business development executives. They've opened their own practices and hold the post of principal architect. Many of them have joined the teaching fraternity and as assistant professors in various institutions. Some of them have delved into research and become PhD scholars in places like IITs and CEPT. So yes, they're flying high and always in demand, the students who have done urban design from Sushant. So these are the places where they usually go to, ACOM, RSP, Morphogenesis, RCOP, Oasis, Hafiz Contractor, Sanjay Puri, Studio U plus A, Dada. They also join authorities like Rail Land Development Authority, the Smart City Missions, Town and Country Planning Offices, GMDA. Also private and real estate-led organizations like the Vatika Group, IRIO Group, DLF, and all of these. So a little peep into our department since it's a lockdown right now, and not sure when you'll get a chance to actually physically come and see what it looks like. So this is what our department is: our studios with our small display gallery and a place to come together. This is a small video put together by alumni and seniors at the Urban Design Program. Just run it for you. Okay, so coming down to the admission process, the process of admission at Sushant is fairly simple. You need a Bachelor's of Architecture degree. Um, You need to sit for an interview round. So fill up the form online, have an SOP written and sent across, and prepare a portfolio of your work. Once that is done, you sit for the interview, and after a small interview round, your selection letter, if at all, is sent across to you. You can get in touch with Ms. Deepthi Khanpal. Her number is right here, 99900155 381, or Deepthi Khanpal at sushantuniversity.edu.in for anything further on the process. So we look forward to having you with us soon, and all the very best. Thank you. I would like to open the forum for any questions now. Does any of you have any questions? With regard to the course, with regard to the admission process, with regard to the department, faculty, resources, anything at all.
Josie?
Yes, Josie is someone we've met.
We met, yeah. Are you there, Josie?
You must be saying, I know all of this.
Huh.
Okay, anyone? Yes, we're happy to answer any questions. If it helps you decide whether for or against, either is fine. Okay, so it means it was a bang-on presentation, was it? All of you convinced that urban design is the profession? Though that was not the intention here, it was more to give you clarity whether you're making the right choice for yourself. So it does. If it means that you need to get in touch with us separately, if you have any questions with regard to the profession or any other program, that you're confused between, or whether you need to do a master's at all or not, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to guide you for your future. I mean, don't think that it's coming from Sushant, so it will only be swayed towards this school and this course. It could be anything. I mean, we are happy to help, just guide you for future.
Thank you, guys. We'll wind up otherwise.
Yeah. So you may want to exit if you don't have anything particularly to ask.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Josie. Hoping to see you soon.
Ma'am.
Yeah,
I applied this year also, ma'am.
that's very nice. But I hope you will be in a position to join us.
Yes, sure, ma'am. Like I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for 1 week.
Sorry?
I'm waiting for a 1 week's time. I asked for the 1 week's time.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Take your time. I mean, I know you had decided for yourself and it meant a lot for you, but whatever circumstances did, that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's hope for a better future for you now.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
I think this time we'll have it online classes or offline classes because now
We
the
can't say, I mean, you know what the country is going
yeah.
through. It's a decision that, I mean, we are so hoping it would be offline. Things would have settled by end of August. That's when we usually start.
Okay.
But I mean, for now, it seems we should be in a position to start. But you know, this is something
Yeah.
that we really can't commit
Not in our
either
hands.
way. I mean, even though we plan, but you know, things put our plans at fault most of the time. So let's see. But we are all game to start offline.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Looking
Okay.
forward.
Good. Sure, ma'am.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Take care. चलो जी हो गया
I will stop the recording. Yeah.